are tuned to the BBC World Service for Africa. This is Network Africa, and I'm Dorothy Grenfell-Williams. There were two notable West African absences from President Sékou Touré's funeral last week. There was no Jerry Rawlings in Conakry, and there was no Siaka Stevens. By the end of last week, telephone lines between Africa and Europe were buzzing with rumours about the Sierra Leonean president. Was he very seriously ill? Had he perhaps even died? On Thursday and Friday last week, we here at Network tried to contact the Sierra Leone High Commission, but their phone was out of order. Then, on Saturday, the phone rang in the Network office. It was Alpha Wilson, pressman at the High Commission. The president, he said, was alive and well and staying in West London. If we wanted proof, I could go along to the presidential residence and see for myself on Monday morning at 11 o'clock. Well, of course I went, and there was President Siaka Stevens, as large as life, and looking as well as I've ever seen him looking, a point which I started the interview with.
Well, a week or so ago, I was feeling indisposed and I had accumulated quite a bit of holiday. So I decided to come down to London and get a checkup. I've had a checkup and it's all clear, the medical authorities say. So I've been resting a bit. I don't wonder that I look so well, as you say.
Were you surprised when suddenly rumours started bursting out all over that actually you were rather ill?
Oh, well, that's one of the penalties we pay for high office. The man in the gutter nobody worries about as soon as you get on the top. Every little thing that happens with you take added significance. So I wasn't surprised. People phone me from all over. My daughter phoned from Nigeria and other places. Oh, I sent a message to somebody in Freetown to say that in our local language, which we now use at home, we say, you faint late. Pardon, all right, they move about.
I can tell you, we were absolutely inundated with phone calls at Network Africa. Do you know where the rumour first came from? I hear there was a lot about it in the Liberian papers.
Liberian. That is to be expected. Commander Doe did send a delegation to me here. And I saw them and we chatted and told them everything was all right. We arrived on Saturday night, everything was all right. I walked home, everything, I don't know.
You walked home?
Well, no, I mean walk home from the airport to the car and things like that.
You haven't even been in hospital then?
No. I have very good contacts here, so I arrived on Saturday. On Sunday, I was able to get an examination. Further examination on Tuesday, and by Thursday, everything was finished, X-ray and the other things. No, I wasn't admitted to any hospital at all. I've been here where you meet me now. I've been here all the time.
Can I just change the subject slightly? I think that you must have been very sorry, probably, not to be able to go to President Sékou Touré's funeral.
Very, very sorry. It was so sudden. Even with my own business here, I should have been able to find time if the notice had been a little longer. But we just got 2 or 3 days notice. Man is dead, is to be buried. One of the greatest things I've been sorry for all my life. He was such a close friend. He made his own mistakes like every one of us, anybody else. But he achieved quite a bit. And he made a name. There's one thing that I liked about him is self-confidence.
I know that when one's contemporaries and friends die, it gives one a sort of strange feeling about oneself as a survivor.
That is correct. You begin to think about yourself and how you should be managing things. You are quite right there. I think that is why the rumor spread. That's why that rumor spread. I am 17 years, something like that, older than Sékou Touré, and people are reckoning why he should have died and I'll stay behind. So one does think that we don't like to face the reality, but when a thing like that happens, then you begin to face reality.
On the other hand, one can't help feeling that it's a sort of triumph to be the survivor.
Yes, yes, human nature being what it is. You'll have to remember that your own turn will come sometime.
President Siaka Stevens of Sierra Leone, who sent his foreign minister, Abdoulaye Conte, to represent him at President Sékou Touré's funeral in Guinea. Mr. Conte was visiting the Siaka Stevens residence in North London at the same time as I was yesterday, so I asked him to tell me what feelings he'd been left with after the funeral in Conakry.
With mixed feelings, if one may say so. There was the impressive arrangement of the funeral, the way the Guineans, you could see them almost tearing their hair out in anguish on the day they were going to bury President Sékou Touré. And what was touching was the impressive attendance of world leaders right across the globe, from Washington to Moscow, from, if you like, Alaska to Peru. Everyone was there. About 20 heads of states, all there to pay their last homage to this great leader. It was very impressive indeed.
And that was Sierra Leone's Foreign Minister, Abdoulaye Conte.